also staging and what goes actually into a theatre. But what we're going to do, this pile of junk I've built here, we're actually going to build a fully working model theatre. And that will look, hopefully, this works. Try again. So they end up there. Central School of Speech and Drama. That was refurbished 2 years ago. And we've got the stage, and we've got the auditorium, and we've got this part, which is called the Fly Tower. Any of you go to Nottingham Playhouse, Derby Playhouse, see some plays? Have you seen the scenery going up and down at all?
Yeah.
That's going into this space here called the Fly Tower. And it's this whole bit here which we're actually going to build right now. I'll just put a couple of words on here. There we are. Just so that I keep pressing this button for a minute.
Oh, that's when they drop if they do it right.
So, 4 volunteers straight away, please.
Come on.
4 volunteers straight away. How about you 4? Well done.
Hey!
Come on. Be careful with this cloth. You can walk on it. It's a bit slippy because it's on the polished floor. So I want 2 of you over here. So this is yours. Come on, grab that. Yeah. And then this is yours. Okay. This is yours. This is yours.
Look, you can't see me.
Okay. Now, we'll just have a minute. Do anybody know what these things are called that we make scenery out of? Have you heard of the word scenery flats before? No. That's the wooden frames which they cover with canvas, and they can make them any size they like. 6 or 8 feet wide up to about 30 foot tall. Made out of 3 blue inch timber, or 25 by 75 mil. I made these in Nottingham Playhouse workshops many years ago. We've got half a hinge here and half a hinge there. That's the loose pin hinge. And when you go to the theatre, especially in pantomime season or plays where they've got lots and lots of sets, one of the problems is, where do you put the sets when you don't want them on stage? You've got to put them backstage somewhere. And so by using the loose pin hinge, we can take sets apart in a matter of seconds or minutes and store them against the back of the stage. So if you handle that one again, we need some pins. Right, so, come around here. You know, put the pin through here. Through there. Okay. Alright, and then this one's covered with black wool serge. This is the mattest black surface that you can get. Turn the working lights out in here, and this should completely disappear, hopefully. So put this one around like that. Hold it there. Just going around like this. That. Okay, there we go. 2 pins, one at the top, one at the bottom. Try to sort of push it together. So unfold the top.
Don't mind.
Yeah. Put the pin through there. Push it quite hard.
Go on, Hannah.
Push it. That's it. Okay. And then this goes around here. So if you hold that bit, you come around here. There you are. Pin at the top. And pin at the bottom. Okay. All right. You got a pin at the bottom? Go ahead.
We'll wait out a minute.
Push it in. Okay, right, so if you two like to sit down, like you 4 like to sit down. Give them a round of applause, did that very well. Okay, now, where it says fly tower on that, or fly gallery on that drawing over there,
There's loading gallery.
fly gallery.
Right. It's
Fly gallery. It was the tall ship sailors. How many of you seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Fantastic little film, okay? Johnny Depp pulling on the ropes, pulling these sails up. Well, those tall ships, those gallant ships, they have these massive, great big iron cleats on there. And you obviously have iron cleats on a fly gallery in a theatre, because the tall ship sailors coming into theatres during the winter season, hundreds of years ago, that invented flying scenery up and down, flying Peter Pan across the stage. And so, where it says fly gallery, I've built a little miniature fly gallery with lots of cleats on here. And so you can pull on cords or ropes and tie them off onto these cleats, and this will actually work. So if you two on the end there, if you'd like to come down, come on. Okay. You can hold that in there. Okay. We'll just find the pins on. Oh, okay. And then can you put the pins through there? One there, two at the bottom. That's it. In here.
We need to walk towards.
Okay. And then the bottom there as well. Okay, thank you very much. Would you like to sit down for a minute? So that's that bit. And then next two along, if you'd like to come out. It's quicker than asking for volunteers. Right, so now, why don't you go over that side? So this is yours. Now we're going to open this up, open it up like that. Right, get yours. This one here. Okay. These are known as book flats. They just open up like a book. And they can be, again, 6 foot wide, anything up to 30 foot tall, really, really tall. And they're quite bendy until you open them up. So then they'll stand up just by themselves. Very, very useful. And now we're going to build the theatre up higher, where it says the word grid up there. The grid is very important. It's the highest working point of your stage. And so, let's see. Yours. Here. That's yours. Okay, come around here. So, just put your right thumb on there. Other thumb. That's it. Okay. So you put a pin through there. You see what I can use? That's it. And there's a pin actually hidden in there. Right, here's yours. Alright, now that one needs a strength on that one. You've got a pin through there. Okay, thank you very much. If you two like to sit down, that's great. All over this way. Get past the stream. But it's all a bit guesswork at the moment. You'll see how it's going to work in a second. Okay, next two volunteers. So also where it says the grid, running from the back of the stage to the front of the stage will be lots of steel girders in the theatre with lots and lots of pulleys on there. Now first of all, we've got to, if you step behind that piece of wood. So, okay, anyway, yours. Alright, so let's start off with the same. Tuck into there. Now, is it in line? Alright, okay. You reach that? Yes, you reach that. Okay. So, now, can you just stand here on the cloth, facing me this way? Okay. Where did I put that thing? It's in here somewhere, isn't it? There it is. So this piece of wood represents the steel girders, and then in here are hundreds of pulleys, or a few pulleys. So, part of this is from the middle room. I think so, yeah. Just take that there, just walk backwards through that gap there. Work. So don't pull too hard. So just drop it on the floor. You take this one. This one there. Come back for two more. It's yours. And you come back this way. It's yours. Through there. That's it. One. Okay, just drop it on the floor. Can one of you pass me 4 pins off the table, please? One at a time. Okay, I'll just do this bit. It's a bit awkward to reach. And then another thing. Okay, we'll just have to drag this back a bit. Okay. Right. Now. Just step back out of the way, will it? Right. Just come out, come off the cloth a minute. Okay. So, Velcro. Used all the time in theatre. Pantomime season maybe. Maybe the pantomime dame walks behind this structure here in one costume. By the time the pantomime dame comes out that side, it's a totally different costume on her. It's all done with Velcro. And hopefully this will work. Little pin. That across the bit as well. Okay, okay. Put that in through there. Oops. I'm just tying the cloth, so just pull the cloth straight underneath there, from the bottom. I'm just going this side just to do this side. Okay, thank you very much. You two like to sit down. So, who's left? Okay, so I have 2 more of you. Come on out. Stand towards the back in the middle. So we've got 2 world famous actors here, and they need to be able to get from one side of the stage to the other without being seen by members of the audience. And in the big theatres, there's a dedicated concrete tunnel called the crossover. We haven't got that, and so on your stage you have to squeeze behind the blue curtains. We're going to squeeze behind the black curtains. You've got to stand backwards over that black curtain. Pick it up. And we go to that end, on the Velcro. Okay, now hold the roll at the top. And then just roll like this. So it should find a white cord in it. Okay. That loop, take it round, hit round the back, on the side. Round the back. Take it round that side. Other way. On the back, on the back. This is a little bit just that. Yeah. So if you stand here, if you stand over that side. So there's our black background, which we sometimes use for theatre. More about that as we go along. Now you've probably seen Top of the Pops, you've probably seen other musicals and things, and if you just got a black background, it's not very colourful. So we want to maybe have a white background we can project colours on. You've seen that all with all the rock shows and things. They've got nice spinning images, maybe different colours at different beats of the music. And so, we've done that a few times on the school stage here. We've put up what's called a cyclorama, a big white piece of material. It could be a white wall. Just pull that bag up for me. Straight over by the radiator. It could just be the wall just painted white. That would do with white emulsion paint. This piece of canvas. And now put your hand through there, hold on to the metal pipe. All the time. let go now. Okay. So, and that's now a flown cloth. That's representing a cloth that's over 50 foot wide by 30 foot tall. I'm just going to part that about that far up. Okay. So this is how it's like. Think about it like this. It's very easy. Okay. And then you just come around, and pin the right, put that into there like that. You can try this, so hold it in the right hand. Left finger on top, onto the left, onto the string. Like your own just do it. Like this. That's a hard pitch. It's good. Okay. Anybody been to the pantomime this Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one? Derby or Nottingham? Derby. What was it called? Oh, was it Merlin? Wasn't Merlin?
Oh yeah,
Snow White. Okay. Do they have lots of coloured backgrounds?
yeah.
Proper name for that is a backdrop. And now all the sets you're going to see today have been designed and painted by Malcolm Taylor, who's head of design at Nottingham Playhouse, a friend of mine. And imagine having a backdrop that's as long as the entire school wall and 30 foot tall. And you've only got a week to paint it in, and you can't get more than 6 foot away from it. And it's fastened to a wooden frame that goes through a little narrow slot in the floor. So you can lower the whole frame down through the floor, so you don't have to keep climbing ladders. The only trouble is, when you're painting the top, you can't see the bottom, so you've got to remember where everything is. So it's really tricky. Anyway, this is one that he painted for me. So if you put your hands through there again, hang on to that. Oops, he's standing on the other colour there. And, there. That's it. Over there, hang on to that again. Now, see if we can close off. Okay, let go. So, down there, figure of 8. That's it. Keep going. You can round the bottom. Hold your right hand now. That's the wraparound finger. That's on there. That's good. Okay, under the velcros on each end of the drop.
Oh, wow.
Is that alright? Using perspective to make the stage look a lot deeper than it really is. Okay, it's painted with Roscoe stage paints, which are special stage paints that don't crack. So that's been rolled up hundreds of times, this thing. Okay. Now I'm going to put a lighting bar in. More about these lights as we go along. Just remember that there are 2 blues and 2 reds at the moment. You could have lots and lots of colours on here, but at the moment we've just got 2 blues and 2 reds. Cyclorama lighting. And all these words, by the way, I'm going to give you a handbook at the end. And it'll have all these words and terms on there, so you can refresh your memory about it. And so just come forward a bit. There's a yellow cord hanging down. Just get a yellow cord. Just put the loop around the box onto the black line. That's it. It's fine now. Okay, that's good. So put that in there like this. Right. Now we're going to put a fly bar in, and then we're going to put a piece of scenery on it. Now a fly bar is normally made out of like the aluminium tube through on the back of the hall there, 48mm scaffolding size. So I've just got a model fly bar here. So hang on to that. Normally when you go to the theatre, one of the things you can actually do, either by yourself or as a school trip, do a backstage tour at Derby Playhouse. And they run them all the time. You just hang on to those, but don't. Actually, just check some. Check it's low. Okay, hold that back there. And when you go on these backstage tours, you look up into the theatre roof, you see hundreds of fly bars already in the roof. And you can walk onto the stage and say, I want to hang something up there. So you point it to the fly bar, they lower it down, tie the piece of scenery on, and pull the fly bar back up again. So my piece of scenery, it's not made out of material. It's a nice cutout. Actually, the proper name for this is a ground row. I went to the London Planetarium when I was in the Boy Scouts many, many years ago, down in London. And before that show starts, all the way around the outside of the auditorium, not inside the auditorium, but around the perimeter of it, is a nice London skyline. They have these night skies and dawns, and this projector comes out the floor and projects all these stars onto this cupola ceiling. That's one side, and that's the other side. So it's a nice piece of artwork. Ink and watercolour. And it's going to run along the bottom of the stage. So it's called a ground row. Okay. Just slow that down slowly. Hold it there. If it was full size, down a bit more. Keep going, keep going. Okay. Pull it tight. Pull it tight. So just hold it there a minute. I'm going to tie this one off so I need to get the right tension. Put the half inch on.
You couldn't see it. Just have to sort of
Just got to put a wedge in it to stop it from folding in half. No. Okay. If that was full size, that big bed would be about sort of 15 feet tall. So, and, be made out of plywood, covered with white canvas, and then cut out and then painted. Right. What else is there? Normally on a big stage there will be a lighting bar in here. We aren't going to put that one in because there isn't time, but we are going to put the front lighting bar in. Now, if you go to Glastonbury Rock Festival, or if you've seen pictures of it, and other rock shows, they build stages out of this aluminium trussing, quite big structures, which they can put up in the middle of the field. And so it's a bit of trussing that I've got from the same company. Here we go. Get those little clips, put these clips onto those loops there. And we need some wires on there. And so I've got a small wiring loom. Because we're going to have miniature lights in here and real stage lights out here in a moment. And, so, put that over there until it just touches the floor. Alright, okay. So you get this clip here. Got a clip. And just hook it onto the lower lid there. Okay. There's a Velcro somewhere around here. You can put that. Just take the Velcro around the actual fire. That's the material. Just take it around and wrap it on there. Okay, put that over there. This is broken. So we've got 7 circuits on there now. So now the next cloth we're going to put in, if we had a backdrop in the front position coming down here, it blocks off the whole stage, but the actors perform in front of it, so they can keep the show moving, whilst the crew are changing the set behind. If you ever get the opportunity to go and see Phantom of the Opera, grab it, go and see it. Have you seen it? It's fantastic, isn't it? And 37 crew they use on that show because the sets are so enormous and there's so many of them. Normally they're probably going to use 5 or 6 crew. Anyway, this cloth that's going to come down here isn't made out of canvas, it's made out of something different. So if you two would like to come forward and have a look at this as well. Under the Velcro there, just pull that bit of Velcro off. And if you like to pull the other Velcro off, where the white line is. That's it. Okay, grab hold of the bottom edge. Hold it tight, hold it very tight. Okay, come over if you see it. Nice piece of artwork. Put that away. Scenic gauze. Okay. Actually, the proper name for this is not scenic gauze. It's called a shark's tooth gauze. It's got this slightly furry weave to it, and it's for doing transformation effects. When the light is on the front only, it appears absolutely solid. When there's light behind it only, it disappears. If you slowly bring up the lights behind, as you take the lights off from the front, it will dissolve through. It will do a transformation effect. And they use that for all sorts of different scenes. And so if you'd like to let go with that. 2 expert riggers like to come back a minute. And just hold that in there. Okay. That's a one. I'll go back and forth while you use it. Okay, you can let go. Right. Okay. Thank you very much. If you'd like to sit down, give a round of applause. Did that very well. Okay, now it might look a bit confusing because there's no proscenium arching. Do you know what the proscenium arch is? This opening behind you, above your heads, that opening is called a proscenium arch. And sometimes, I'll show you some photographs of those in a moment, they can be really quite ornate. Who hasn't been out? You haven't been out yet. Would you like to come out?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Come on. And can someone give him a hand? Yeah. Who wants to give him a hand? Come on, you come out again. Right. Now, this black bag here. Pick that one up. That one there. Okay. Just come forward with it. All right. So, you can start unwinding that. I'm going to make it thing as well. I'll get my hand in here. You can start pulling the black bag off now. So, just put it down by underneath that table. That's it, just underneath there. Just put it down there. Come on back here. Hold that. Okay. Get two more pins. That's your pin. That's your pin. Alright, let me take it away, let go. Now, come around here. Put the pin through there. Pinch it really hard. Okay. This is your pin. That's good. All right. 4 velcros. Under the 4 velcros. Down in here. Okay, come to this side. That's all right. Just got to check this has gone through the right way.
Has that ever happened?
That's supposed to happen, yeah. Don't go away. Don't go away. Right, come around here. You just pull that cord there. That one there. Pull that down. It's 2 hands. That's it. Okay. All right. A little bit creased at the moment. They've been wrapped up over the Christmas holidays. So this is the first workshop after the Christmas holidays. By the time we finish the workshop today, the creases will have dropped down. Did it shut, can you? No? Now this part is the bit that you never see when you go to the theatre. This is called the fly tower. You go to Derby Playhouse or Nottingham Playhouse, and there's a false roof starts here. Comes over the audience with some lights in there. And it goes over, maybe you go to one of the other big theatres where they've got these different balconies going up, and the roof goes up over the next balcony with some more lights. You go right up to what's called the gods, right at the top there, and there's even more lights. So this is the part we're going to hide now. So if you two like to come back a minute, I'm quite finished. Pick up this last piece of black material. That's your pin. That's your pin. Okay, so now we need to unroll this. Get that drop. Over there. Just like this. Now. Okay, you get yours in there. Can you go in? Okay. Go on, other way, to the top. Oh, you can't do that. Fall out. Oh, safety, down from the top. Go on, you can do it. Okay, you can do this bit though. Yeah, come on. Bit of Velcro here on here. And also down there. So just the end, bit of Velcro there. You might recognise this structure being fairly similar to the puppet theatre that we put up. So I'll get that. Okay, right, that's good. Thank you. Right, so if you two would like to sit down, that's great. No, you will do in a minute. So just open the curtains.
He's falling
Now
down.
you might think, well, why have I left this hanging down like this? In fact, it should be all the way down like that, actually. And, so, what we've got to do now is, the next thing is called setting the deads. So, if the, let me see, if we can get all around this or not. I think maybe you four and you two just come round and looking from the sides, okay? Come around looking from the sides. Right now, you look, split up, so go from each side. You'll get your chance in a minute. Now, and the rest of you just listen a moment. Now, when you go into the theatre, let's say we're setting this doors up for the first time. That'll be hanging down there. Okay. Can you look where you can get here, inside? Okay. So then, we've got to pull the doors up. And then we let it hang out. We're going to have a cup of tea whilst it's hanging out. And after the tea break, you come in the crew, lower it down, until it's just touching the stage. And it's under tension. And then they tie it off. Remember, there's 2 rows of cleats. They tie it off on the bottom set of cleats. And then can you just pull here? Hand over hand, pull. So then it goes up to the top cleat. Wait a minute. Okay. Then on the scene change, the fly person up here on the standby will untie it off the top cleat, let the word go, fly it down at 70 miles an hour, and you should hang absolutely perfectly on stage. So, that's the doors. Look where all the different fly bars are. In a real theatre, you could have as many as 60 or 100 fly bars. And the cyclone lights are in here. There's going to be mid-stage lights bar in here, and this will be full of lights by the time we finish. And there'll be other lights out front. So if you like to go and sit down, and the people at the back can come. Okay, so the next one we've got to do is the backdrop. That bit's lowered down. Doesn't want to be stood like this. Okay, and then gets tied up on the bottom cleat. So can you pull? Hand over hand. Up it goes, and then it gets tied up on the top cleat. So on the standby, they untie it off the top cleat, and I'll let go from the stage manager, fly from 70 miles an hour, and show you hang absolutely perfect. Okay, so I'll do that one that way. I'll just do the cycle on. Now you're going to be using some of this during the course of the workshop. You'll be doing a scene change in 1.5 seconds in a blackout while somebody else is operating the light control. And, so you just get to see how everybody has to work as a team in the theatre. Theatres are very dangerous places to work. You've got several tons of scenery and lighting above your heads that are moving around all the time. Okay. So if you'd like to go and sit down now, I'll show you a few slides. Just finish off getting just a couple of things ready. Oh, wait a minute. One other thing we've got to do. Here's some miniature book flats. You might want to use book flats on your stage. That'd be a very good way of making some scenery and transport. So we've got a little book flat there, we've got another one here. Can make a nice little scene. Okay. Maybe you could bend this back. You've got an entrance through here. Or maybe you could bend this back here, and you've got a more grander entrance. Depending on the play, will depend how you're going to paint these. So what's the play about? 2 very contrasting styles of painting these scenery flats, depending on what the play is about. So there'll be huge effects that can go with the theme of your play. So I'll just move these over here. One other thing to think about is the viewing angle of the audience. At the moment you're in an excellent position for looking at this stage, or in a straight line almost. People at the edges sometimes have hard time seeing into the actual stage, and they can probably see right through into the wings. So we've got to create some wing space, or put some what's called masking in. And here I've got some big masking flats, book flats. Okay, I'll put those in. Let's go in there. See if we can get material that's waiting. These will go behind, ready for the scene change that happens later on. Let's get this one in. Set up one other thing, ready for the next. Right. So, let's have a look at a few slides. That look in focus, is that alright, is it? No. It's slight fuzzy. Just have a little adjust on that focus. The screen's a bit bent. I might just be able to get the better. That better? Good. Right. Okay, let's finish labeling this up. We've got the control room at the back. We saw how I was sitting at the back for the last play yesterday. Called it the control room. Lighting control, sound control, stage manager. The stage manager, he or she, is in absolute control of everything that happens on stage. And they're in radio communication with all the assistant stage managers who are running around getting everybody ready. Front of house. Anything in front of the curtain line is front of house. Front of house lighting bars, front of house staff, front of house loudspeakers, FOH, front of house. So we've got front of house catwalk here, so we can walk along, get to these lights here, and focus them down onto the front of the stage. In this school hall, we've got some up here. I have to put them on the sides in here. Front of house lighting, lights in front of the curtains. Perch booms, vertical booms on the side walls of the auditorium or the side walls of the stage. Very useful light addition as well. Got backlight in there, just hidden behind this backdrop. Mid-stage light bar in there, and one just in there, just hidden behind this actual little black curtain. And that black curtain can actually go up and down. It's called a border. You can actually have different sizes of the stage opening. You might start off with a little pantomime, with a tiny small cottage. And then towards the end of the pantomime, with a huge great big palace. So not only does the fly bars go up and down, even the lighting bars and all the masking, the borders, they go up as well. And the side masking tracks out as well. So you have a massive scene change. When the scenery is all the way down, it's tied off onto a bottom cleat, and then you pull it up and tie it off onto top cleat. Now, you probably don't know about stage left and stage right. I don't know if you, that would be quite a good thing to actually to instigate, wouldn't it? And when the directors wants to move the actors around the stage and tell them where to go, instead of saying a bit more over there and a bit more over there, they're called stage left and stage right, which is always from the actor's point of view. So if I go from stage left, if I'm on stage here, okay, you're my audience. If I go to stage left, it's always from my left hand here. I go this way. The director say go up stage, then I move backwards. Up stage left, up here. Down stage towards the front. And it's very easy to remember because some stages are actually sloping. And so, so down stage right would be over here. But not only that, you can make little diagrams of where the scenery might go on the stage and label that up as well, with down stage left and down stage right. Different forms of theatre, different ways of looking at the lighting. We've got the proscenium arch theatre, or the end on stage, like we've got here. And so we have, if I'm standing on stage here, put the light with your arm up to about 45 degrees, somewhere up there, coming this way, there should be a lighting bar coming in at 45 degrees. Thrust stage goes to the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. Well, now we've got audience there, we've got audience here, looking onto the stage from the side, as well as you lot looking this way as well. Okay, so we need to have lights coming this way, as well as from the front. Then it gets into theatre and around, and we've got a stage with the audience seats all the way around. It gets really hard. We need to light those actors from all four directions, ideally. And sometimes you might go to a little theatre to see that, or even big theatres, and see some theatre around. The bottom one could be a Greek amphitheatre, or it could be Glastonbury Rock Festival. Let's try again. There we go. And with a big, huge auditorium and a big stage as well. It's a Greek amphitheatre. Anybody been there? Down in Cornwall, near a little harbour called Mousehole. You're coming down in Cornwall, go and have a look at this, it's quite spectacular. Here's another unusual stage. I dragged Tom and my family around Lake Constance, went cycling, and we came across this theatre on the lake down at Lake Constance in Switzerland. And at the bottom end of the lake, you've got Germany, Austria and Switzerland. And you can actually cycle all the way around this lake in about a day or even less. You can go through 3 or 4 different countries. And we came across this huge, great big stage. And we get 90 strong cast on there. The control room's inside the back arm of that chair. There's lights down here and lights down here. 7,000 seats. Quite an amazing place. Pardon?
Is that chair only just for that?
That whole set was built just for that show, the big opera, and it takes 3 years of planning and building, and every year they put a new set in the middle of the lake. If you're interested, type in Regent's Theatre on the Lake on a website search, and we'll come up with lots of other pictures. There was a 90-foot high skeleton like this, holding open this enormous big book, and this big book was at the stage floor for one of the other productions. And, I started off as a junior electrician at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. It's got 1,000 seats on 3 sides. It's got a thrust stage coming out into the auditorium, and we put an actor downstage. These people are looking this way. Up above these funny little house lights are actually catwalks. You can walk along there and get to the lights. And we'll focus the lights down at 45 degrees onto him. And that works quite well. But these people are looking this way. So we need to focus the lights the other way as well to make sure these people can see. But we might blind the front row of the audience. So just when you're actually lighting someone very close to the edge of the stage near the audience, you need to steepen that lighting angle up so you don't blind the members of the audience. Now that's a bit technical, so I don't expect you to remember all that. But that's quite tricky sometimes, getting the lighting in the right place. Now I said that proscenium arches are very ornate. Now you've got a nice wooden one here. This is from the old Sheffield Empire Theatre. It's all made out of plaster, and it's quite a lovely ornate one. You might do eurythmy in your classes. I've done eurythmy big stage performances right across the world, and we did a big tour of the United States. We did 19 cities in 24 days. I went to Chicago with the Romanian State Orchestra and the Stuttgart Eurythmia, which is 25 Eurythmics on stage, doing Eurythmics to a full orchestra. And we also took scaled-down performances into schools during the daytime. This is typical Chicago school. It's just got the rectangle proscenium arch, flat auditorium, and all you see is the back of the head to the person in front of the flat auditorium. That's why I've put you on these rostrums today to make it look easier for you to see. And so that's one form of stage. Here's another one in South Africa, a place called, actually in West Africa, called Windhoek, and steeply raked auditorium, and the big stage. Put an actor downstage left. Okay, it's down here. We're from the actor's point of view, downstage left. And now we're going to put a puddle of light down here. And so we take a light from the end of the bar, and a light from near the middle. Okay, this is from the bar that's out front of house bar. A light from here and a light from here, lighting down there. If there's an actor in the middle, then we do that again. An actor on the stage right, then we do that again. And that's known as the 6-lamp rig, and it's the easiest way of dividing the stage into the left, centre and right. Now you'll be unaware of what I was actually doing with the lighting probably yesterday, but there was 55 lighting changes during that little performance yesterday. All the time I'm just highlighting people where they are to make it really nice and close little pools of light sometimes. And that's based on that system, even on your small stage. And if there's actors going further back on stage, next lighting bar takes over. If the actors are even right at the back of the stage, then another lighting bar takes over. So you have a cross-section through the stage, looks like this. And the front of house bar lights up here and here. Bar 1 lights, doesn't go straight down, it's lighting upstage a bit. So is bar 2, this chap just come out the trapdoor. And then we've got a backlight bar, that's light behind the actors' heads. We'll demonstrate that to you in a moment. And then we've got the cyclorama lights in here. And they light up the back white surface, the cyclorama, into any colour that you like. So, again, Eurythmy on a big stage. This one's in Bucharest in Romania. Here's Eurythmys. Look at the height of this. Massive stage, over 100 foot wide and 12 metres high. Your room is only about 3 metres high, if that. So it's a massive stage. Theatre in Brussels, cyclorama's being lowered down, it hasn't been stretched tight yet. Theatre in Calgary in Canada, the apron stage is starting to come out into the auditorium. And then the University Theatre in Cape Town, seats on 3 sides again. And a circular lighting would appear to light that stage. Some of you may have heard about this place, the Goetheanum in Switzerland. Do they know about that maybe? And that's the centre where all Steiner's work is sort of radiates out, you could probably say. So in fact, although it's a building that has all the offices and also lots of archives and loads of thousands of books, actually the biggest part of that building is a theatre. It was the second largest theatre in Europe up until about 1970. It's got an 80-foot high flight tower. Stage level is where the blue line is. 1,200 seats. Imagine the stage, which is about twice the size of this whole hall. The whole stage can go down 1 floor, the whole stage can go up 1 floor, and the whole stage can tilt, whilst everybody's on it as well. And if you don't like the big auditorium, well, there's one down there. I got interested in theatre when I was 14. Somebody dragged me down to the Merlin Theatre in Sheffield. I was in the cross-country running team, and he was one of my teammates, and he said, you're interested in theatre, come down here. And that's a little Steiner little theatre there. And let's have a look inside. I went back to run this place and direct plays after I worked in professional theatre for some time. Got the apron stage, the lid's been taken off, we've got a band being set up in there. These pillars are hanging up, just like we hung up the London skyline this morning, and there's a white cyclorama at the back. It's a permanent plaster wall at the back. If you go up the vertical ladder, right up into the roof space, into the grid, or up to the flying area about here, look down onto the stage, it looks like this. So you're looking sideways now onto the stage, from inside the stage. And the audience looking through there. There's a lamppost hanging up. There's a lighting bar. There's a table and a grand piano made out of cardboard. And they fly in, and they have two lots of fly lines, and they can pull that up out of the way. One fly line pulls faster than the other, it tips on its side, the legs drop away, up it goes between this lighting bar and this little black masking curtain or border curtain that hides that lighting bar. You can probably see the fireplace just built into a backdrop. Some of the sets from My Fair Lady. And step backwards to another picture, and that's the typical fly gallery. And you can go there as a young volunteer and help work in this theatre and help run shows and things. You can see all the empty fly bars up there waiting to be used. So, you can actually do this on your stage. Big piece of scrap material, that's the backstage view, the working lights on, and this is the front stage view during the scene. It's the robber's tent from the Snow Queen. Then a front cloth comes down. That set's now disappeared in 1.5 seconds. When it goes back up again, it's the ice palace. So we've got lots of silver foil representing the ice palace, the icicles. You can just about see the Snow Queen in there. And the front cloth comes down again, and this set is put on stage, and the front cloth goes up to reveal it. That's all made out of cardboard, all made by young people, and you can see some light coming through the windows there. It splits up into 3 sections. Backdrop done with stencils, so everybody can help paint all the stencils on there. And that's a typical backstage view with the scenery flats. These are scenery flats and scenery braces and weights to hold them up. And this is what it looks like from the front. Dial M for Murder by Agatha Christie. This is, again, it's known as a box set. The flats are making like a little box to represent the inside of a room with the doorway and the French windows. But it's the rest of it that makes it realistic. The wine glasses, the pictures, the standard lamps, the bookcase, everything there. That's called dressing the set. And this is a group of theatre people. They've probably been to drama school, they've then joined a small theatre company, and then they've gone on tour. Every night they have a different theatre. And they came to our theatre at the Merlin Theatre. They arrived at 6 o'clock for a 7:30 show, put this up very, very quickly, did the show, took it down, went to their digs, next day, drive to the next town, do the play, take it down, drive to the next theatre. Night after night for 5.5 weeks on the road. Absolutely exhausting. A good way of seeing around the country. Romeo and Juliet, completely baggy tights at the dress rehearsal. And you look there, there's a wire there, and there's a wire there. So, Dial M for Murder, that was one set for one play. If you're doing a Shakespeare, you might need to stylise the scenery, because with lots of Shakespeare, there's literally loads and loads of scenes. And so we've got a fight with Romeo and Juliet at the beginning, between the two feuding families. And then shortly into the play, Romeo and Juliet get secretly married. So this central archway's flown out, the pillars have opened up to give this stylised abbey where Romeo and Juliet get secretly married. And then Juliet's going to take this potion, it's going to put her to sleep. And then the idea is she's going to secretly run away with Romeo. It all goes a little bit wrong. So then we can think, well, what time of day is it? Is it daytime? Is it night time? Or maybe she's going to sleep, maybe it's supposed to be night time. So how do we light the play? Do we light it with candlelight? Do we light it with electric light? Should we have a shaft of moonlight coming through the window? And we've just got a very tightly focused light coming in, picking her out against this nice deep blue cyclorama. Daytime, pillars go all the way back, and it's a little bit brighter. Same scene at night. Give someone a lantern will reinforce the idea it's night time. Maybe start the scene off really dark blue, and then slowly brighten it up, but not very much. Don't come out in this blue mood. Romeo gets the wrong message. He's told that Juliet's really dead when she isn't. And so he's a bit depressed about this. He's going to go and buy some poison. He goes back to the tomb. Now the big white cyclorama, when you don't want it, you can't just turn the lights off and expect it to go dark. So you have to drop a black curtain down or draw a black curtain across. The white sheet's been taken off the box, it's now a marble slab, and the side walls have come in to enclose the whole space. Now, These pillars look quite good. Cardboard tubes in the centre rolls of carpets. You've probably seen me using pillars all over at this stage for other plays. And they're still in the warehouse and they're over there. And great looking pillars. Bit of a contrast. What production's that? Wind in the Willows gives me furry head, furry hands, furry feet, and turn him into an animal. Here's a grassy bank ground row with a tubular water ripple effect behind it. Even the proscenium arch has been transformed. The colour, though, is coming from the stage lighting. Making things from scrap, hundreds of plastic cups, cardboard tubes, cylinder vacuum cleaners, there's an actor inside. He gets into the rocket just before the show starts and he's pulled up into the roof space. Then the stage manager says, house lights go, the auditorium lights go down. Electrics go, they turn the smoke machine on and the flashing lights on. And then flies go and the rocket descends onto the stage. That's all done in the first 5 seconds of the show starting. So important teamwork to get that actor safely down onto the stage. The show was John Wayne and the Beeple, so there's one of the Beeple. So that set's all based on the honeycomb. Ornate the Horrible and the Wasps were the baddies. So that set's all based on a wasp nest. It all turns around, and just on the other side, there's another set on the back. So it's got this sort of papery feel about a wasp nest. Getting light at 45 degrees, so you can see all the facial expression is really important. And not just young lads and men doing lighting. The lighting designer of the year 2 years ago was Jackie Staines from the Stephen Joseph Theatre Ground in Scarborough. And here's a 17-year-old girl operating the lighting desk that I built for the Merlin Theatre, looking through the control room window. She might be doing something like this, or something as simple as this. And all we've done there is to lower down the 45-degree angle down to horizontal. And it's now coming in the side, coming in as side lighting, but with an orange filter in there. Side lighting coming in there. Okay. Let's turn that off a minute. Okay, now, because we've got a sort of unusual long time of the workshop, should we have a 5-minute break now? Would that be possible? Without them just sort of chat amongst themselves, or will that be all right? I'm just going to get a drink as well. Blow the nose. Because otherwise it's a long time. Very careful. After candles, what do they have then? Very similar to a candle. Lanterns. And after lanterns, what do you think then? What's the next step? Gas lighting. Now, have you heard that expression, being in the limelight? I don't know if you've done it in physics yet.
Yes.
Yes.
Lime
Lime. Yeah, and you give a bright white light off. They had these little blocks of lime, and they had them in these special lights way at the back of the old musical stage, which they heated up and gave a nice bright white light, and it was called limelight. And that expression, being in the limelight, you still hear that again. And it's the old follow spots they used for picking out the stars of the musical shows or the variety shows. And then finally, after that, we had electric light. So what we have to do now, we've got to build a writing bell. So I need 2 more volunteers, please.
Yeah. Start with that. Come on, wait.
Come on, I need 2 volunteers. You don't have to wait. Okay. One of you like to grab that stand up over there. Yeah. Why don't you come over here? You come over here, Scott. There you go. Put that in the top of that stand. Okay. What's that?
Are these lights that you've got in there, have they been specially made for a small vision?
They are miniature exhibition lights, which are sort of mimic what real stage lights do. So, put that in the top. It's alright, it's probably just the candle.
Well, it's near electrical.
Okay.
Electricals don't burn. Oh, yes, it's explained. Also on.
There you go. Okay, pick up the bar, you two. far here? Okay, I'll put it onto there. That's it. Right out again. Hold that flap over. Hold that over. Tighten that up. Other way. That's it. Right there. That's it. Get as tight as you can. Okay, alright. Now don't go away yet. If you're doing Glastonbury Rock Festival again, well, you still need literally miles and miles of this. It's 6 to 8 people. And there's in there. Like that. Okay. So these stage lighting has to be on a different form of socket because we don't want people plugging in tape recorders and televisions and blowing them up. So it has to be on a different sort of plug socket to ordinary domestic electricity because you can vary the amount of power going to the lights. So, yeah, you just like to pull that. In fact, you come over here as well, Scott. You're going to pull that up together, okay, in a minute, and then tighten it up. So hang on to that a minute then. And I'll do this side. Okay, 1, 2, 3 up. There you go. So help him to get it up in the air. Go on, higher.
Help him get it up.
That's it. That's enough. Okay, tighten it up. Okay, just slide it that way a bit. That'll do. That's good. Okay, thank you very much. You'd like to sit down? You just pull that back a bit. That would crush my ankle on that sharp corner. So all we need now, we need a lighting control. Now I brought this one along. This is the one I normally use in my workshop, not that one. That one's very sophisticated, but you can't actually pass that one around very easily. You'll have a look at that later on. So it's still connected to your lighting system. And that was the one that was running the show yesterday. So, this is similar to the one, your school one as well, that I look after as well. It's like this, and these are called presets, for presetting the lighting. And you could probably bring this one on here, that might bring some lights on here. That might bring some blues on the cyclorama at the background. This might bring some lights on just inside the stage. So when you put the lights on, you look at the stage, then you decide that's what you want, and then you write it down, 1 at 6, 7 at 7, 8 at 5, and 12 at full. Give it a cue number. LX is the nickname for the electricians or the lighting people. LXQ1, and then give it a nickname for the actual scene. So it might be, I don't know, what's the first scene? 12th night.
The Duke saying how much you want to live in.
Oh yes, right. So it could be the Duke's Court, is it? Or something like that. So it could be the Duke's Court. Okay. You take this master should be on. Take that master down and take this one down. This one works from 0 to 10 the other way. On this set of preset faders, we can make brighter lighting if we want to. Maybe have the blue on the background, bring the dawn in here, bring some more brighter lights on. And that could be the next lighting change in your show, depending on how complicated the show is. Now, surprisingly, that play that you saw yesterday doesn't look that complicated in the way the lighting was. Anybody like to guess how many lighting cues there was? How many? 50, very close. 55 lighting changes there was in that show. It's actually a surprisingly high number. Okay, so let's start off with you. There you go. Pull all those down to 0. We just need, let's get the power cable first. Just need 8 volts to make it work.
That one.
That needs to be, yeah. And that those two needs to be up.
One more.
Okay. We'll pass this around every few minutes. And then, okay, you'll get your chance in a minute. in the cupboard around the corner, you've got 3 lots of the dimmer packs. Right. So we'll start off with the light bulb. Okay. If I want to, if we want to vary the brightness of this, what do we need to plug it into? What's it called? Dimmer. Okay. So over here we've got these dimmers. I can plug it into any dimmer that I like. There's 6 dimmers in that box and there's 6 dimmers in the other. And if you like to push up number 3 slowly, please. A little bit of luck. That works. So a round of applause, please. So, 40-watt light bulb. Not very bright, is it? Is that any good for lighting up this little figure or this little scene? It's only for...
You put it in the fly.
It depends, yeah. It's only a 40-watt light bulb. I could make it a bit brighter. It's only 40 watts. Bigger light. Is that big? Keep going. 200 watts. I got to keep going.
5,000 watts.
Okay. Keep it still. Okay. Let's go up to this side. 500 watt.
I mean, let's look at this one.
Alright, thank you. So now, you're the electrician, or LX, okay? Put your left hand on number 3, put your right hand on number 4. You're going to take number 3 down, you're going to bring up number 4 in 5 seconds. So count yourself 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, etc. Okay. Now you need to know when to do it. So this is where the stage manager comes in the real theatre. And the stage manager would say, stand by LXQ1. You should say standing by. LXQ1, go. And it's always on the word go, or the red standby light or the green cue light. So keep on full power, keep on full power. So, where's the light going?
Everywhere.
In my eye.
How can we stop it going everywhere?
Turn it on. Turn it on.
Put something behind that glass or something.
Mirror, okay, alright, we've got some good ideas here. Put a mirror on this side of it, maybe put something around it. We're going to crossfade back to this other light. Stand by LXQ2. LXQ2, go. Take the one down slowly, that's it. Put something around it. Okay. So what we've got here, just pretend we've got a folding metal box here. Okay. Got a light bulb. Light bulb inside the box. Okay. If I had a reflector, any light going backwards, let's try it again. If I had a light bulb, if I had a reflector, any light going backwards gets reflected forwards, and then I can block off the back of the box, and light's only going forwards. So if I ring up the lighting hire companies, they look, I want to create a nice wash of colour over there, a nice wash of colour over the Cyclorama. Do you know what type of light I should be asking for? Lights coming out, flooding out all over the place. Just floodlights. Somebody's listening, that's good. Okay, can we have a look at a real one? Floodlights. I'll just take the colour magazine off this so you can actually see inside it. I'm just going to hang it up here.
Why is it really? Why are you pointing at me?
that in there. It's got 6 sockets on this bar. And in your school, last Christmas, we were very, very lucky. We got some lighting equipment donated to the school from an ex theme park in Scotland where I was up there. And so I managed to put, for every single light up here, I put in lots and lots of cables. And then next time you're walking past that cupboard, you'll see hundreds of plugs going into the actual dimmers. And they're called patching leads. So can you find me number 6 on there, please? Mix the big numbers on the plugs. Okay, that's the one. Okay, go over here. Look at that. This is there. Let's give them a look. That's it. Okay, thank you very much. That's fine. So, can you take down number 3 and look at the light and just slowly bring up number 1, just a tiny, tiny bit. So it's plug sockets number 6 into dimmer number 1. So you can patch them into different orders in the lighting control into the dimmer. So it comes out of the lighting control in the order that you want. Can you see that curved reflector? The old-fashioned lights used to give just a blob of colour on and a big cloth at the top and not much light down the bottom, which wasn't too bad for the naked eye, but when you started using video cameras and TV work, they needed to have an evenly lit cyclorama, so they built these parabolic reflectors which forces the light out and downwards. And so slowly bring us up to full power, please. And you see that's nice and bright, isn't it? And I'll just hold the colour in front again. It's a nice blue, put on the ceiling, it's a nice blue. But even with these dark blues, an awful lot of the light gets reduced with these very, very dark colours. Now, do you remember the 2 blues and the 2 reds at the back of the stage? On the model stage? I'll plug those in now. So this will bring the whole theatre to life. Okay, so the 2 blues are labelled Cyclorama plug 1, 7, and 2 reds, Cyclorama plug 2. Something's called ground rope that we use in there. Something else I plug in there, which we're going to use in a bit as well. So, Ben, just fade down number 1, please.
We get a different person.
And very nice. Okay, can you slowly bring up number 7? It's the first one past the gap. Okay. Well, that's not bad, but it's not very good either because it's on a black surface, and you'll see the difference now when we lower the cyclorama. So I'm going to give you 2 cues now. I'll show you how it works. Cue 1 is this, really fast. That's called a snap cue. And cue 2 is this, the same one, going back up nice and slowly. And that's cue 2. Now, when you have cues going very, very fast together, the stage manager has to put you on standby for a whole string of cues sometimes. So standby LX cue 1 and 2. I'm just going to do a flight burst a minute. LX cue 1, go. LX cue 2, go. Bit better?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Now, just before we go any further, I'm just going to put the house lights in there. There's a little bit at the stage which I forgot to put on this morning. That's the first workshop training. Fine, there it is. just come out here and can you hold this? Can you hold that? The apron stage is sometimes an extension. You've got rostrum we build. Put it down over here. That's it. That's it. That's better. Let's get it to join up. Pull that. Join it right up to the ceiling flat. That's it. Okay, that's better. Right. So that's the apron, the bit that's in front of the stage. Thank you. Right. Just keep that still, can you? Put it on full now. Right. What time of day is it? Okay. Right. Can you slowly, very, very slowly bring up number 8, please? Really slowly bring up number 8. Now what's happening?
Or it could be some drop.
Shepherds get
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
In the morning.
So,
It's Tuesday.
it doesn't look too bad, but we can make it even look more impressive if we actually think about where the light's going to come from. Now, the other day I was driving up the M1 in late afternoon and the sun was going down and there's grey storm clouds just hanging in over the M1 and suddenly the sun came down behind the storm clouds, started lighting everything up from below, including all the road signs, and everything just went golden colour, this golden colour. And just for 5 minutes the M1 looked pretty. So, what we often do in the theatre is to get sort of low level light. And this little floodlight here, I'm going to put this one in behind the London skyline. Okay, and then we'll see what a difference that makes. Okay. So can you just fade off number 8, please? Well, you can probably fade black out, I think. Take both off. Take off number 7 as well. I'll just be a giant a minute. Okay, slowly bring up number 8, please, again. Sorry, not number 8 at all. Number 7. Okay, now slowly bring up number 8. Okay, take number 8 down. And now very, very, very slowly bring up number 9. Okay, hold that there. And now slowly take down number 7. So just from these 3 lamps, we're getting all these different moods and atmospheres. Okay. Now take down number 9 for twist. Quite dark, but not off. So you get nice strong silhouettes. Take it all the way down number 9. Going darker. You get that. Hold it about there. Okay. Don't forget, we've got still quite a bit of ambient light in here. It's not pitch dark in here. Okay. So let's just build this up again. So number 9 up slowly. And if you go to London Planetarium, you'll see these sort of effects as well on their skyline before they start showing you all the different stars. Okay. That's probably about right. So now bring up number 7. And now, this little chap at the front here, we can't see his face. So the only thing we can do at the moment is to bring up number 1. So slowly bring up number 1. If you look carefully, you might be able to see everything that's actually happening on stage. So, floodlights. Floodlights for lighting up cycloramas, for lighting up anywhere where you need a big wash of colour. And next time you're on stage, you'll see at the corners of the stage, I'll put some new floodlights, just like this, up there. My final pointer. I'll just show you a slide now, if we go with this. Just take number 1 down a second, please. Okay. Now, you don't need to read all this. Just look at the pictures. Okay. Now, we could use either individual floodlights along the back of our cyclorama, or we could use some of these, 4 times 4 of these. And I've actually got a set of those that I'm repairing at home. I've got in the middle of the place. I'm quite fortunate because I go around all different schools giving these courses and also to theatres. There are times when he breaks anything, so I'll have it, and I keep on getting all the broken bits and put them together and making more lights for this school, because lights are very expensive. And so if we had 4 times 4 of those, so 4 units of those, in red, green, blue and yellow, we could mix 58,000 different colours onto our background. And the setup would look like this. We'd have the cyclorama cloth. We'd have 4 metres away, we'd have the cyclorama lights lighting up the cloth. And if you put a gauze in front, grey gauze or white gauze, you can make the whole thing really diffused. Okay, so I'm going to have my desk over this way for the moment. You're starting to have a go, aren't you? I'll tell you what to do then, alright? Now, can you put number 1 again, please, up? Okay.
There's the book.
So, you want the book? He's made by Lempen Puppets. Okay? So, I just want to put a soft pool of light just around him and nowhere else. What type of light do you think I should be using? The same spotlights, a bit like saying motor car when you really mean Ford, Vauxhall and BMW. We know we've got floodlights. The next type of light we're going to look at is named after a Frenchman. And just take down number 1 a minute, please. It's last minute slides. Just before we move on to the next slide, remember the Romeo and Juliet slide? This is the huge cyclorama. Remember, that's a white wall seen in blue light. There's a 1,000 watt floodlight here and a 1,000 watt floodlight there. And lighting this cyclorama all the way down. Asymmetrical floodlights. So now we're going to move on to this type of light, named after a Frenchman. And he invented the lighthouse lens. And the lighthouse lens bends the beam into a soft point of light. And so next time at the Science Museum or somewhere where there's a lighthouse lens, have a look at them. They're a fantastic thing with the seaside, of course. And here's a little modern moulded Fresnel lens. And
Can't see it.
don't worry about that, just leave that
Too
there.
dark.
Okay. Right, so here's a number 1, please. Number 1 up. Here's a modern Fresnel. Take the filter out. And you can see the rings quite easily. Some lights are very easy to open up. So you can see the guts inside. Don't touch the light bulb with your finger. The sweat off your fingers will go onto the quartz glass and weaken it, and it'll blow up just when you need it for your show. But what I've opened up for is so you can see the reflector, and you can move it backwards and forwards. So that gives us a little bit of control. So put that one up there. Look it in. That's in front of house number 1, so I need to find number 1 here. Let me continue number 2. So, fade to blackout. If I ask anybody to fade to blackout, take all these different faders, take them all to 0. So if you'd like to do that, all of them, just take them all down. That's it. So just take them all the way down. That's it. Okay. Right, now can you slowly bring up number 3, please? Sorry, number 2. Number 2 slowly. You always bring on light slowly for the first time. Thermal shock will blow light bulbs more than anything else. These are stone cold. They've got to get as hot as electric fire in a matter of seconds. And that's why if you notice if you've got any dimmers at home, all light bulbs that are running off dimmers always last longer. It's always what's called a soft start. Okay. Now the quality of this light, it's very bright in the centre, bring up to full power now, but here, you've got this fuzzy edge. You can never ever get a sharp edge here. It's designed to give you a soft pool of light. Could you like to just come down here and just do something for me? Let's just show you a point. See this focusing, just pull that slowly backwards. Slowly pull that backwards. So it narrows down the beam. Okay, now push it forward again. This is quite a bit wider. Okay, let's just do that one more time. Push it all the way forwards. So it covers quite a lot of the ceiling. Now pull it all the way back. And we can get this hot spot. So, now, don't go away, just leave it there. Now we've got light hitting the proscenium arch. We've got light hitting the front of the floorboards here. And that might be lighting up the front row of the audience. We've got the master light off there, we've got the master light off the proscenium arch. And so we use this device on the front end of the Fresnel, this is called a barn door. And you'll notice that some of the lights shot from seeing you lot.
Oh. Very hard to use drum. The phone say. Drum.
Okay. Right, he's going to go today. Right. Now your stage is very, very tricky to light because the lights have to come in through this letterbox stage. It's a very narrow stage. So we use these barn doors on here. We do on the front colour runner, and we can mask the unwanted spill, so we don't get spill all over the woodwork of your stage. So what we do first of all, can you push this barn door up and that will cut the light off the wooden floor. So push that in like that. Hold that in. That's it. That's enough. Push it up to his feet. And if you can get this one here, we're going to pull that one down. Take it off the London Star line, off the mid-stage a bit more. That's about it. That's good. Okay. And then those two will push in like that. So we've just got the front portion of the stage there. Thanks very much. So, what we can do now is we can start to light a different part of the stage. So just get those figure out. Mary Watson on a bad hair day, don't you think? Yeah. All right. Okay. Right. So now, can I have number one on, please? And two volunteers, maybe you two. That was very well volunteered. Come on down a minute. Hey. Just keep the lights still, please. Right. So what we've got to do now, we're going to bring a couple of little lights on stage. First. Right. Come stand here. Come over here. Come on. Come on. Okay. Can you kneel down? One of you put your hand in front like this, and one of you, the other one kneel this side. Come around this side. I can do it. Right, kneel down. Kneel down. Can you take number one off first, Scott? Just put your hands in front of that little man's face. Thank you. Pull your sleeve up. I want to see the skin.
You want to see your skin?
I want to see your skin. Let's pull your sleeve right up. Come on. That's it. Right, okay. Now, come on. Right, so, hold your hands out. Hold your hands out. That's it. Now, open white light is actually very stark and bright. And even if you've been wearing stage makeup, which is stronger than domestic makeup, it bleaches the skin tone. And it doesn't look very pretty. So what we can do is we can put a warm gold filter in, what's called pale gold, and it warms the skin tone up. Okay. And you see that used on all sorts of shows. So that warms the skin tone up. But sometimes in a play, you don't want the skin tone to be warm. Maybe they're Lady Macbeth. Hold your arm again a minute. And Lady Macbeth is a pretty evil character helping plot all these murders in Macbeth. And so we take this out, we'll put a cold filter in, steel. Now you're doing 12th night, okay? There's a scene in there where there's a prison. So we don't want this in a prison, do we? We want this in a prison, okay? So we've got a choice, so we can even go even darker than this if we want. And so this is just the starting of thinking about colour. And these are called tints. So you like to stand up a minute. Number one, please,
Put
Scott.
both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you're over that side, so you get the wall. That's the wall one, okay? This is a cold one, right? That transforms a piece. Okay, so bring this over here. I'm going to hook it onto there. Using this little hook clamp. So, hook that onto there. Okay, tap this up. Okay. Just to go into this one. So plug that into there. So yours, bring yours around here. Hook it on there. Use the hook. So, in there. Alright. And we're going to plug that into the other side. That one there. Plug it in. When you go in, so look, turn it around until it fits. Okay? Alright? Now then.
That's what I mean.
Right, turn around this way. It's alright, it's fine. Can you find me number 3 and 6, please? This is 3, and 5 and 6. You said put a couple of pages down, that's it. Alright? So this is bar 1 now, 3 and 6. I'm going to plug that into there. Alright, so now I need to give somebody else a chance to hand the lighting desk over to this chap here. Okay, fade down to blackout, please. And count along, find number 10.
Turn that off.
And bring number 10 up slowly. It's almost in the right place, this already. Okay. Can you swing this one around? It's very odd, isn't it? Can you bring this one around? Just do the pattern until like this, swing it around, and also do the tilt like this. Okay, so swing, aim it, see if you can aim it onto this little person just there. That's it, and down a bit. That's good. Right, leave it there a minute. Now we have to tidy up the beam, because a lot of the spill hitting the cyclorama and hitting elsewhere. So this is the blind doors now, this bit here. We'll fold that around. Fold that bit around, push it around. See how it's going to take off a lot. Keep going, a bit more. A bit more. That's good. Now the top blind door here. Fold that one in. And now this one here. And finally the bottom blind door. Blind door. Okay. Right, that's great. Number 10 off, please. And number 11 up. Okay, so this is yours. Okay, so you can swing it like this and you can tilt it. Okay, so you can point that onto the same little actress. A little steeper. That's good. And now the barn door on here. That one there. Push that one in. Okay, there are 2 side ones. And on the other side as well. And then this one here. Excellent. Okay, thank you very much. Give them a round of applause, they did it all right in the end, didn't you? Okay. So we'll just pull that down so you know where the lights are now. Now, can you put number 10 on as well, please? Put number 10 on as well. So the character's lit with a warm and cold filter. And we often do that. We're lit from either side of the stage, so the face is well lit. But now, during the course of the scene, this character might get more and more evil. And so to go with that, we can slowly take the warm light out, very, very slowly. You can take number 10 down really slowly. And I was actually doing this during the play yesterday, when Herod was getting more and more and more heavy, as it were, or whatever it is, aggressive. Slowly the lighting levels were creeping down until you just left this central spot just on him. It happens very, very gradually. And if you notice with the kings, then there was always warm light, there was always blue light as well. And so it was a huge contrast. And then right at the end, of course, of that play, we're throwing in red light as well. So there we are, that's in the cold light. Right, I'm just going to move this. Oh, wait a minute, before I move it, one last thing, important thing to look at. Something we find very difficult to do on your stage is backlighting, because the ceiling's not very high. Backlighting can be fantastic. How many of you seen Lord of the Rings? Yeah? Some of these DVDs you can get these days, they're very, very interesting because they've got these special features on them. And you can see how they make the films, how they make the costumes. And Lord of the Rings was quite an exceptional film because it had an enormous amount of stage design and costume design all the way through it. And there's some very interesting special features on that. So go to the hire shops and hire it out one day. And you'll see that, you might remember there's a scene with Aragorn on this humpback bridge. And there's fantastic light streaming through these trees. Backlighting. So I've just got a light here. I've just got a blue filter in. And I'm going to put this at the back of the stage, pointing forwards into the back of her costume. And we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, where
When that went,
the second one where it goes into Helm's Deep. Here comes the gates.
Will you just fade off number, it's 11, isn't it? Well, yeah. And can you bring up number 12, please? Backlighting. Okay. And now if you very, very slowly, very, very carefully bring in a little bit of number 10, please. A tiny, tiny bit of number 10. Look at the actual figure. See if we can get a tiny bit of number 10 come up because of the warm light. So now we're getting soft fill light. Let's check the nostrils all the way up. So we get this contrast between backlighting and front lighting. Take number 12 off quickly. Number 10 a bit brighter, please. Okay. Now take number 12 off quickly. See how where it's going to look darker, how uninteresting it is. I'll bring the number 12 back in again. And you get this nice interplay of colour on the costume, the back and front lighting. So, now I promised you a scene centre. Just before you have your break, it'll be very good just to see if we can get a scene change to work. Just refocus the light over here. Okay. Fade to black out, please. Now can you bring up number 12 again, please? Backlighting would be quite mysterious. Who is this ugly little man? Can you bring up a tiny little bit of number 11, please? Tiny bit of number 11. Whoa, that's enough. Down a bit. Hold it there, okay. Now a tiny bit of number 7. You're going to put a little bit of dull blue lighting in the back. Keep going a bit number 7. Okay. That'll do. So this might be our lighting mood for this scene. Maybe he's the child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah? So it wants to be quite threatening sometimes. There's a real contrast. All right. Now, let me just have the lighting control a minute. Okay, so this is on this top preset. So if I take this master down, it turns it all off. This works this one live now, so I can bring up, well maybe I can bring up some really sort of strong lighting. Maybe we're doing Grease, okay, got some really contrasting lighting, so a little blue in there. Maybe we want it a little bit softer, so let's bring in the maybe we want to bring in this warm light onto the little figure over there. And this little chap down here, we've always forgotten about him, haven't we? And so we can slowly bring in the Fresnel from the front. We can dissolve him up into the picture. If it's really bright, he sort of leaps out of the whole stage picture. So we use the lighting control to blend the lighting levels to get them right. And okay, so that's on the top preset. Now, we'll let one of the girls have the control desk for a minute. Who wants to have a go? All right? You'll be able to do it, won't you? Go on, you have a go. Right, I'll show you what to do. It's very easy. We're going to have a scene change. The first thing we're going to have, just put it on your knee a minute. is, this happens in theatre all the time. Blackout, scene change, lights up. Okay, so the blackout is going to be very simple. It's going to be like this. Okay, then the scene change will happen, and then Q2 will be to bring this one up really slowly, and that will bring just this nice dark one. Okay, all right. I'll just show you what you're going to do. Okay, so Q1 is this, really fast. Did you get that? That's that one. Q1 is this, very quick, and then Q2 is this one, nice and slowly. Okay, all right. We'll just put the house lights on here just for a second so that I can just show some other people because we need some crew. So you two come out here and you two come out here. All right. So you two come out on this side. You come in here. Come in there. You come round the side door. Right. Okay. Now, you see this scenery flat here? Pick it up with one hand. And you can lift up in the air, get over the top of the scenery flat. There. Get on top. Right inside. You see over this side. That's it. Hold it there. This is what you do. Okay? That's the start position. Alright? Another word go, this is what you do. Put it down. Put it down. Lower it down quickly. Alright? You get yourself in here, just practice that. Now, one of the things that you two have got to be careful of with your elbow is this bar is going to go up past your shoulders, so don't get tangled up on it. So put your arm in there, ready, pull it out, try again. Right, now you're going to do hands over back draw. There you go, you're doing London skyline. Come on here. You're going to put your hand on here, you're going to pull this up. Okay? All the way to the top. Just put your hand on there and hold it. And yours is simple. This is the hands over back draw. Yours is going to go down. Right? So you'll have your hand here and you do this. Like that. Is that alright? Okay, so, alright, so, now just explain this. You four are the crew, okay? Yeah, all the way down. You four are the crew, alright? Lighting person is LX, alright? Now we've got the crew and the lighting people have got to work together. So I shall say, stand by LXQ1, stand by crew Q1. LXQ1 go will be a quick blackout, don't do it yet. But in the blackout, I say crew Q1 go, and that's when you do it. Is that clear? You got that? Yeah? Shall I just talk that through one more time? I shall say... Yeah, you know, yeah. So I shall say, stand by LXQ1, stand by crew Q1. The LXQ1 go will be a blackout, and then in the blackout, I say crew Q1 go, and that's when you as a crew, you four, do your chain. Is that okay? Right. I've just got to turn the working lights off now. So you okay? Not yet. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to. That's the first one. Okay. So if it's the stage manager talking on the headphones, it might sound like this. Stand by LXQ1, stand by crew Q1. Elect Q1, go. Crew Q1, go. Elect Q2, go. Well done. Give them a round of applause. Would you like to go and sit down? Okay. There's one other last thing. Look how the cloth is lit in the blue light. That's it. Sit down a minute quickly, wherever you are. You put your hands down, please. Thank you. And look at the cottage red door. Look at the pub sign behind called the Flying Pig Pub. And also look at the colours on this piece of wrapping paper. They're all seen in a blue light. Now can you slowly bring up number 8, please, on the bottom row? Sorry, top row, number 8. Very slowly, very slowly. Watch very, very slowly indeed. You'll see, pick it up again. Just do it even slower. slowly bring that up. And as the red light comes on, anything with red pigment in will start to get enhanced. Also, red costume will start to get enhanced. Okay. And after a certain point, the red gets miles too strong. Okay. Until it gets very, very dominant. And lots of the colours on that card have got blasted out. Now take down number 7 on the top row slowly. So anything with blue in, as the blue light goes down, will start to diminish. And in fact, the colours on the top of the card have gone black because the red light's pushed it, trying to lift it into the red spectrum, and it can't. And so now we're going to bring the blue back on again now. Anything with blue light in, or any blue paint on the cloth. Don't know if you noticed the little windows by the cottage, even the shadow underneath the snow has got a little blue shadow in there. So slowly bring up number 7 again. And as the blue comes up, it'll start to help any blues on the actual backdrop, which is starting to do now. And perspective changes a little bit as well. Now when that's at full power, slowly take down number 8. And as the red goes down, the whole perspective of the cloth changes a little bit. It turns into a real winter scene. And then take down number 7 slowly. But not all the way, quite dark. Maybe to hold it there, and that could be sort of a little spooky chase sequence. And some of the icicles start to show over the points. So, the beginning's doing really well. They've got brakes on there, haven't they? And so we missed brakes a little bit as well, haven't we? Have we run over it? Yeah, should we give them a 10-minute break now? That'll be all right. Okay, so I'll just put some working light on. And so let's get a 10-minute break now, all right? And so if you come back promptly, because we're going to get more and more gear out when you come back.
No, you got 2 left.
I've got one.
I should have worded this.
I'm just getting ready for the start. Saves me. I'm trying to get ready. Yeah.
I tend not to eat this.
What?
Fluffy with the windows, that'd be all fun. I don't like.
Right. What about rock show lighting? What's that like? What are the colours like?
Flashy?
Yeah, and what are the colours? That's flashy. All right, let's talk
Pink
about it.
light.
Yeah, 11 colours.
Pink.
Yellow. Green.
You might notice the very dark, saturated colours.
Black.
Strong blues, strong purple, strong greens, as well as some of the pastel colours as well.
Black.
Okay, and pink.
Right.
Well, the story goes, there's a light designer coming to land at Heathrow,
Abby's very clever.
and he sees the landing lights on the runway, and he thinks, well, they must be really bright. I wonder what sort of light bulbs those are. And he makes a few inquiries and finds out it's what it is. A sealed beam par lamp, P-A-R, par lamp. It's got the lens, it's got the filament, it's got the reflector all in one sealed beam, a bit like a car headlights. It's the mains one. It's 240 volts, 1,000 watt. So the only thing you can do with this, there's no focusing controls on this. The only thing you can do with this is to put it into a can, like the one on the floor there. And can you slowly take down number 1, please? That's it. And can you bring up number 3 a minute? And you can see that's the light bulb that's in there. Okay. And
So it was
Starts
old.
melting.
There's the one who was holding.
so these are very, very efficient lights. Very, very bright. Is that on full power yet? Yeah.
Very efficient.
Good. And
Just fish.
the par lamp. And if I get into this light over here, you'll see it's really sort of very, very bright. I'm just going to try and get this wrapped up to. Just leave that alone, thank you. And, okay. Sort this up there. Okay, so let's put some colour in this. Now you need high temperature colour. It's special polycarbonate. So it makes this sort of rattly sound. So Please remember which sort of use. So this is nice red in there. And okay. Just close your eyes a minute, and I'll just point this at you a little bit. Okay. It's really, really bright, isn't it? Now you might think I was being a little bit nasty there.
You said close your eyes.
Now you imagine what it's like to be a dancer in Top of the Pops, or being in a nice big show like Grease, or one of the West End shows. You've got to be standing on stage, and you've got 500 of these at stage left. You've got another 500 on stage right. You might have got another several hundred up above your head, all shining, all flashing away. And you have to have a nice smile on your face, pretend you like dancing in all this light, and you're not going to fall off the front of the stage and squash the violinist in the orchestra theatre, which did happen in the Lyceum Theatre in Sheffield. The ballet were there, and they got blinded, and a couple of the artists fell off the front of the stage. I've seen dancers trying to get off into the wings, and they get dazzled in the wings, and they hit the lighting stands. When you're doing the big professional rhythmic dance shows, you use a lot of side lighting as well. And I've seen Eurythmics sort of crash into all the masking flats and knock them all over and things like this. So it can be quite hazardous actually working on a stage. Now, Parkand's excellent for giving strong colour washes from the side or from even in backlighting. How many times, now some of you might have seen the School of Rock.
That's great.
And he mentions the power stance, and he has his guitar like this. And they have, but you see that on the posters, don't you? Smoke machines all blowing all the smoke, and then light coming from behind. Sometimes the lights are put right behind the artist, going into the audience's eyes, and when they move their arms around, it makes all these nice smoke patterns. Look at the Queen videos, some of those. You'll see those, Tom's very familiar with videos. And amazing sort of shows. There's one lighting rig on the Queen video. The entire ceiling and walls is made up of Parkands right next to each other. Absolutely amazing. You don't know how much power they must have used for that. So anyway, that's the Parkand, not only for doing rock shows, but for doing drama lighting. The slide you saw earlier on with this nice orange light onto this man's face, that was a Parkand at this sort of head height coming in, putting a nice side lighting onto his face. I'll show you some more slides later on. Somebody as a joke thought, well, why don't we actually make a miniature version of that? A mini par. Mini par lamp, yeah. Uses a little tiny dichroic light you see in shop window displays, so we need a transformer before we put the 12-volt light in there, and they've become a serious piece of lighting. And if you'd like to take off number 3, please, and bring up number 4. There we are. It's only 12 volts. But low voltage light is very, very efficient. You can see that's bright enough to light me here. And we're using them now on the front of the stage. We actually used them yesterday for the play. I think they're still connected up. And these here. Okay. Those were used on Herod. And then there was a nice warm one on this side. That was used on the Kings when they were kneeling down over there. You can see that one there. So they're extremely useful, these little tiny lights. Now they've got the name for those is an MR16mm mini Parkand, which is a bit of a mouthful. So electricians like nicknames. If you play golf, one under par is called a birdie. So here's a Parkand, this is under a Parkand, so these are known as birdies in the trade. And okay, so once we've got that there, let me just show you a few lighting angles. We have lights going straight in, all we get is shadows in the background. And this is what we're trying to avoid with the stage here, because it's quite a low angle, those lights up there. So we try and be very careful we don't get that. So we come up to 45 degrees, and we get a natural lighting angle. It's best to put one light up here, and one light up here, to light up the natural very well. Now, I'm just going to get another figure out, which will help me to light up the and demonstrate lighting angles a little bit clearer. Let me just turn this off. Okay. Find it somewhere. Under here. Alfred Hitchcock was one of the first directors in films who was actually remembered as a director rather than all the film stars. And he used to do horror films. And he used to have light coming from below. And a lot of light coming from below, it makes all the shadows go the wrong way on the face. And
It's the guy off the second Ghostbusters movie.
all the shadows going the wrong way like this. Okay. So let's have a few more.
Get underneath.
I go into summer school stage and I see lights pointing straight down like this. All that does is to put very hard shadows underneath the eyes, the nose and the chin.
Get underneath them.
Now I had the light very slightly forward, but very downwards on Herod yesterday to give them these really hard chiseled features. And so sometimes that can be to an advantage. Okay. And then we start coming down the side, and we start getting into side lighting. Okay.
Put it underneath.
Can you bring up number 3 a little bit, please? Okay, and then we can put the blue here. And we start to get in strong contrasting side lighting, which you might use for dance. And sometimes the dancers are wearing these body stockings, and you see the colours split right down the centre of the whole body. And slowly take down number 3, please. And so all these different lighting angles can be really quite strong.
Put it underneath.
And
You wear
okay.
that.
And if the lighting can also, depending where it's coming from, can make it change the actual design of the actor's face as well.
He's turned it round.
You've got pretty clever that thing.
I know. It's up blind until first. Right, I'll let you watch it.
You just turn it round.
Oh yeah. 10 billion what?
Okay, number 1 please again. I want to put a square of light just around this window here and nowhere else. Any idea how I'm going to do that?
Barn doors. Put a light. Put a
Barn doors. Okay.
What's that?
Number 2 please, and everything else down. Okay. So the barn doors. So let's just open the barn doors up. Okay, so we'll put that over there like that. And tighten this one up. It's your idea, so you come out here. Right. Come on. That's it.
Actually, it'll stay big.
Great idea. Just put your hands on the side on here. Can you push those barn doors in until you just get them to either side of the... Don't push them, yeah, they will. They're quite stiff. I'll push them in hard. You won't, it's won't break. Hundreds of other students have done this, so you'll be alright. That's it. Come on, keep going, a bit more. A little bit more. Hold it there. So that's great. We've lit up the whole masking flat, okay, or scenery flat. That's perfect. Now push them in a bit more, can you? Just put your hand on the outside, just push them in hard now. And as you push those barn doors in, suddenly the light just goes off. So it's an excellent idea to try and use the barn doors, but I want everybody to understand the limitations of the barn doors. All they're creating is a very simple, crude shadow. So what we need to do, we need to move on to a different type of light. The next type of light that actually gives you the focus control over the edge of the beam is the profile spot. And so I'll just put this back on again. There's the park hand. I just want to show you, just take number 2 down a minute. This is a stage in Bucharest in Romania where I toured to with the Stuttgart Eurythmium. 25 Eurythmists on stage with a full orchestra down here, doing Fingal's Cave Overture and the Unfinished Symphony and other big, huge orchestral numbers. Behind every single masking flat is whole sets of park hands. You can see some of them there. And we had to rig all these up at 8 o'clock in the morning, 400 lights by 12:30 in the afternoon. And in fact, the 3 lots of blues, one there, one in the middle, one on the side, one on the other side as well. And then the greens, and then from this side as well. And then the reds, and also the yellows, I think it's a bit out of sight. And all the lights above the whole stage as well. And then with this side lighting and the footlights from below and the lights from the top, we can mix all these different colours from different angles. So that's using the park hands. And now we're going to move on to the profile spot. We're going to start off with a really old one, this one here. It's about 40 years old. Can you bring up number 5, please? Okay, just take that thing out. So for the first time now, we're starting to get a sharp circle. This one has the Plano convex lens. It's the lens with the little bulging. And so I'm going to move this down, this little character down here.
He's beautiful.
Okay, we'll just get the little character out here. She is. Okay. Well, maybe she's going to be singing a song, okay? And we want to pick her out just around her head and shoulders and nowhere else. You've probably seen this in the shows where they close the light down just around the head and shoulders. And so we use this device. Anybody know what it's called? So, did somebody say it? It begins with I. It's like
Says
same
something.
name as in your eye.
Steady scenario.
Iris, okay? And it doesn't go in a colour runner, it goes in here. This is the focal plane, so anything put in there, and I'm just going to focus onto the piece of metal on the side first. So we brought into focus, like this. Now, a follow spot operator is he or she, next time if you go to a big show, turn around, if you see something with the lights actually following the stars around, turn around and be able to see the operator. Sometimes they're even built into the set in these big rock shows. Don't confuse it with moving lights. You can see something actually physically moving, a huge, great big profile spot. It's about 4 or 5 foot long sometimes. And they have to learn the entire dance sequence. Is the person just jigging about at the microphone, keep the spot absolutely still, otherwise it's distracted. Then the star sort of suddenly then races off to a new position on stage. They have to anticipate that move and follow the spot. The spot follows the artist. Not chasing them behind, but keeps the person well centred all the way in there. With the big ice skating shows as well, when the person is really close, they have it really big and wide. As the ice skater zooms off into the distance, they narrow the spot down. And so, from here, we can have it like this, or we can slowly move the iris across, the little lever across, and make the iris go smaller, and close that in, right onto her head and shoulders. Sometimes, even in a straight play, that can be very effective for actually closing the lighting. And at the end of the song, open it up to get her whole hands, or maybe the other artist as well. That's one example of using a profile spot with an iris in. Now I'm going to move on to a more advanced profile spot. Take number 5 out, please, and bring in number 1 a moment. Just plug this one in here. This has got a special box built above this one, a remote control box. Let's just try... Can you just press that button there? Just once. Okay. Let's press it again. Oh, I know, wait a minute. There we go. Better? Right, press the button one more time. And this is a little remote control box here, which the fader not only can control the brightness of the light, but it can actually control the motors as well. And I'm just getting some a little bit sharp focus now. We're getting a really nice, crisp, round circle. Now, you can see these levers around here, and they're very, very useful. With the Opera Proscenium Arch, I have to put the bottom lever in to cut the light off the top of the beam so we don't get puddles of light across the top of the Opera Proscenium Arch. So that's useful. We can put the top lever in and cut the light off the bottom. We've got the left hand. This is not called levers. The proper name for these are shutters. Okay, push that in there. And then this one, you can push in there. All right. So, just push that button one more time, please. Right. Right, just got a little dodgy connection. Need to get a new switch on that, so that's all right. So we're going to put the top lever in, the top shutter in. I'm just going to focus it a little bit. So we've just got the light cut off just to the top of the theatre. So you can see you can be pretty accurate with these, very accurate. You cut the light exactly where you need it.
Push both of them. so you only get like a line.
Push button.
Hey up! Hey up, you ducks. You alright then? Are you alright? A nice Christmas. Now then, this twit back here, you're a twit you are, he's put the top shutter in, and that cuts off light. All the way along here. Oh, I love doing that. Anyway, I've got to go. Ta-ra!
Bye.
Ciao! Cannon Hill Puppets of Birmingham. They have a profile spot over there, they have a profile spot over there, and the actors come out and tell Uncle Peter's Russian folk tales. And the actors speak the voice of the puppets, and the puppets go up into the light. And,
No, it's a rat.
Oh my God.
It's nice, it's a mouse.
and the little kids forget that the actors are speaking the voice of the puppets. Anyway, one example. Press the button one more time. Oh, that's good. No, it's not. Let's see if that's playing up. Press it again.
Man,
What is it? What you program?
What I did was, I could show people afterwards how we program this. There isn't time right now. And, okay, oh, it's fading off. Okay. So I'm going to use it manually. Bring up number 5, please, on there. That's good. I'm just going to disconnect the motor. So I need to move this around by hand fairly quickly now. It takes time to program. So I'm going to put the light onto the window. Like this. I think. And, do you want to have a go? You want to focus this? So, just start by pushing the top shutter in there. Hold by the plastic. Don't touch the metal and don't touch the body of the light with any hands. Hold it there. Whoa, whoa. You're going to go just to that windowsill there. Up a bit. That's great. Hold it there. All right. Now the bottom one. Wait a minute. We're going to push the whole light up somehow. Just take that thing. Okay. Push that one a little bit more. All right. Okay, just a minute. Just the foot. That's good. And now that side one there. Push that one in. See if we can get it square to the edge. A little bit more. That's it. Leave it there. That's very good. The last one, finally. Okay, that's it. Give a round of applause. Well done. Okay, so take number 5 off quickly, please, and bring up number 2 again, please, slowly. So remember, number 2 is lighting up the whole masking flap. So maybe, here's Mr. Scrooge, not Mr. Scrooge. Yeah, it's Mr. Scrooge, that's right. So we better put him in a humbug sort of position, don't we? Well, he just says humbug all the time, sort of swear word, I suppose, in Victorian.
Actually, it's Barbara.
Okay. And, all right, so there he is, and maybe somebody's going to chuck a bucket of slops out that window onto him. So we want the audience to look up to this window just before the end of his speech. The lighting designer not only is designing the lights, but what the lighting designer is actually doing is controlling where the audience is looking at any one time during the play. Can you very, very slowly bring up number 5, please? And so what that will do, it will highlight the window. Okay, hold it there. That's one way of doing it. Now there's another way of doing it. Make it even more impressive. Maybe it's night time. So to make it go into night time, we put a blue filter into here. Okay.
How come the window's moving?
That's because I'm shaking the bar. Okay. Alright. And is number 2 on full power now? That's better. And now take number 5 down slowly until that window looks like it's been lit from the inside outwards. So all the way down, 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 down. Okay, a bit more. Cool. Does that look okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now your cue. When I say cue 1 go, just take number 5 off really quickly. Put your finger on there ready. Just got to take number 5 off really quickly and I'll give you cue 1 go. So first of all, just got to tell a little story with this. Mr. Scrooge, he comes home, goes into his little house, goes upstairs to bed, counts all his money, and he counts it all again, he puts it underneath his pillow, going to lean over and blow his candle out. Stand by, electricity 1, electricity 1, go. And out he goes. That's another way of using a profile spot. And that's known as a special. That's the only job it's got to do through the entire show. Maybe when you finish with that, if you've only got a few dimmers, maybe you could unplug it from your dimmers and plug a different light in so you get more use out of your dimmers. Okay, number 1, please. Now, I've been to the Edinburgh Festival for many years, and the Edinburgh Festival is quite a crazy sort of time because in the Edinburgh Festival, every July, August, September, there's about 200 or 300 shows a day in different theatres, from little pubs to big opera houses to small theatres to schools, and even tents and street theatre. And I was involved in some shows, and you have to bring, in one theatre, like the school hall maybe, you might have 3 or 4 different shows a day, and you have to bring your show in, do your show, take everything out, because a different theatre company is going to come with all their stuff. And I put my boxes of my flight case full of effects down, and somebody else thought it was the people who were clearing out, thought it was their box, and they put it on their lorry and drove away just before my show started. So I thought, what the heck am I going to do? So I nipped out of the theatre, went round to the little local shop, and bought a little apple pie. True story. And the silver foil came to the apple pie and cut a little round disc. And then with a sharp modelling knife, cut a few jaggedy lines in this disc, and then put that disc into this holder. And then put the holder into here. That's off there now. And can you take number 1 off, please? Sorry, number 2. Take number 2 off. Oh yes, we've got to set the scene. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Oops. Alright. Number 1 off, please. Number 2 up. That's it. Notice how the barn doors are pointing that way, so we'll spin them around. We'll open them up a little bit. Build up the whole proscenium arch. Take it down a little bit. It's a little bit right. It's fine. Now on lots of different control desks there are things called flash buttons. These things, okay? And sometimes they're useful. So, put your finger on number 5, don't flicker it yet. Okay. What you're going to do, when I say go, you're going to flicker it for a split second and let it go off so I can move the light. And flicker it a bit more and let it go off so I can move the light again. We'll get the hang of it. Okay, everybody else wants a little storm. So can we have a little bit of rain, please? Put your hands together and do this. A little bit of wind. A few hours maybe. And go. And off. And go. Off. And go. Off. And go. Off. And go. Off. And one more time. Go. Okay, thank you. This is great. Can you push it up on the fader now, number 5? So these things are called gobos, and you've probably seen 1 or 2 that I've used before. Yeah. I just want to show you some common examples of some gobos that are used a lot. Can you put number 1 on, please? Okay, have you had a go with the desk yet? Okay, so it's your turn now. Okay, and take number 5 off. Okay, and take number 2 off. Just so that. Okay, every time I take the gobo out of here, I want you to take number 5 off. Okay, it's already off at the moment, it's okay. To make this run as cold as possible. These get so hot you can't touch them with your hand. I'm going to use 2 holders so they don't get burned. And, now, we've spoken an awful lot about proscenium arch, and that's what you tend to do on your stage here, always doing plays over there. Sometimes people do them on the hall floor. And so let's pretend that we're going to do a theatre in the round production, and this is this young lady here. Down here somewhere. There she's on stage. No proscenium arch at all, just the audience all the way around. Want to give the effect of sunlight coming through trees. You can either cut gobos yourself out of foil, not baker foil, but they're thicker foil. You can go to Tesco's and get those fake silver dishes, cut those up. Or you can go to a company called DHA, and they sell 1,600 different metal gobos. And if you're interested, you can look on the website, DHA, look on their website, and it will show you lots of pictures how to use gobos. So, bring up number 5, please, and take down number 1. So let me just check this out on the wall first. That's the actual pattern. Okay. And this is called a leaf breaker. And you have it very softly focused like this. You don't just have one of these, because that looks a bit corny. It'd be good if you could have another profile here, maybe with some more gobos, maybe a few more profile spots here, also with gobos, but always from the same side of the stage. The sunlight only comes from one direction at once. Then you get a mist machine, and you blow a bit of mist across the stage with a fan. And you get, it really looks really quite atmospheric then. And the idea is, as the people are moving around, you get this nice dapple effect all over the costume, all over the skin, and it can look quite convincing. Of course, you can put the blue in there as well, and for a nighttime scene. And that might be interesting to play around with the scene for Twelfth Night, with maybe with Malvolio in prison, and is it one of the others? Toby Belch comes to visit him. Is Toby Belch in Twelfth Night?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
The clown.
The clown, that's right, the clown comes to visit him, torments him, doesn't he? Maybe that could be a nice sort of nighttime scene with him stuck in his little prison, pleading, "Let me out, this swines." Anyway. Okay, number 5 off, number 1 on, please. Okay, maybe you want to be a bit more realistic. So this is one of my favourites. Number 5 up, please. Number 1 off. Okay. And put number 2 up as well. So you can get blue up here. So let's get blue up there. Looks like we've got a shutter in there as well. That's better. And now with these gobos, you can actually, on some profile spots, you've got 2 lenses, one there, one there. So we can actually make the actual image larger, larger, larger. Still not very large, because the distance from the light to the actual wall there is not very far. If you all turn round and look at the black curtain at the back behind, the curtain behind you. Tom, just move that camera out of the way. That's it. Hand over the lens or something. Okay, can you see the trees now are getting really quite big? There we are. And so, depending on how far away the light is, the larger the image is going to get. And you can also zoom in as well. Move the other way back. Okay. So, number out. Number 1 again. Gobos can tell you where you're supposed to be, and these are very, very useful. Now, wait a minute, let's have this on the floor, I think. Number 1 off, please. Number 5 on. There we are. Now, you've all seen this before, you probably know this before. Not as clear as you can see it now. Joan of Arc, we used this one. St. Joan, a few years ago. What's it supposed to be? Church. Imagine if you had another profile here, and you had another profile here. Straight away, if the audience were coming in, you saw those 3 windows on the stage. You think it's a long, nice nave of a building. Okay. Number 1, please. Now, don't turn this on just yet. You set it up. Where's the little lady? Here she is. Just go down there. What's in there? Professor Plum, with the lead piping, in the conservatory, at midnight. So let's get to maybe a little further over here. All right? And so,
Case Pokemon.
He's doing a sausage style, he's going to have that.
okay, number 5 up, please. Number 1 off. So first of all, we've got a nice window. Okay, so we can look through the DHA catalogue. We can find appropriate window, Georgian window frame here. We'll put this down onto the actual scene. That's it.
You need some blue lighting, you need a flash of lightning. And you need to flash the window with light.
That's very interesting. Yeah, you could have this maybe if you see some of these plays like the Mousetrap in London or other plays. It's the same set all the way through. It's different times of day. So maybe put number 5 on full power. Right? So maybe we have a straw filter in here for Act 1. Take it down a little bit. Maybe we have an amber filter in here. Down a bit more. For Act 2, so after the interval, it's getting towards the late afternoon. And finally, I'm just going to find a different blue. Put it on full power again. Professor Plum with the lead piping in the conservatory at midnight. One gobo, one filter, sets the scene, creates the mood, even before the actors open their mouths.
Now, flash that with some lightning.
Yeah, we've got lightning and sound effects, couldn't we? Okay.
It's a really
Number 1, please. Okay, so now, we can make things even more interesting. This gobo here, put number 5 up.
No, is it breaking wood?
Take number 1 down.
Slap it, breaking wood.
And it's not so.
No, it's breaking wood.
Okay, thank you. Now watch. Put my fingers in front of it. Does that suggest anything? Maybe? Water? Well, it's not bad. It's not very good. I can't do this at the top of the ladder all the way through the show, so I've got this thing that can do it for me. So what we've got here is we've got motor.
Why did you get a fan?
It goes really slowly.
Put that motor on there.
Didn't you use it in the last Shakespeare play?
Yes. A slightly different effect on it in the last play.
I remember the little thing going round.
This little motor controller. Okay.
It's not funny.
You just turn the yellow one on just to check it's working. It doesn't matter.
I know that.
Just turn full speed.
Yeah.
That's right. The motor's going round. Okay. Stop it going round. Put the pointer straight up. That's it. Okay. Just take this off here. Now I'm going to get what's called an animation wheel. Here we are. Now the gobo's got horizontal wavy lines, and this animation wheel's got vertical wavy lines. So put this on here, and put the wing nut back on. Alright. And now, can you spin that please? Full power. Just leave it there, that's it. Okay. Nothing much happens because the gobo is in focus. What you have to do with animation wheels is to slowly push it out of focus until you get what you want. So we keep doing this like this. Okay, now can you slow it right down please? So it's just going round, really
Looks like
slow.
water really rippling.
Even slower.
Looks like the desert suns.
Might go even slower.
You get little strands of different coloured light with it as well.
Oh yeah, no, that's about right. Okay, now all we need to do now is to add a bit of colour. So here, somewhere, I've got strips of different steels and cyans, all randomly put together. Now it should be stuck on here really well. I'm just going to hook my arm, and there we go. And now you can see, so I'm going to play around with it a bit more. Maybe tiny bit faster, but not much. Only a fraction faster. That's it. Okay. Okay. So you can see that this line is very close to there. it's not very bright. We really need a more powerful light behind this to make it work very well. And we were quite lucky last time. We made a swirling effect. I'm trying to think what was the play last year? Midsummer Night's Dream, there were some fairies down here. And we had round, when she was sleeping, we had a sort of more swirly thing going around all the time. You might remember that one. It's exactly the same sort of thing, animation reel. I'll show you another one. Just stop it from spinning, put it straight up. Take number 5 off, please. Put number 1 on. So, animation wheels. Okay.
What's not that goalie at the back?
So Gobo's always going upside down because the lens changes everything around and also back to front. And now if you'd like to bring up the number 5 again so you can see what it is. Okay. Probably guess what this is going to be. And we use this one in one of your plays sometimes ago. We used St. Joan was burnt at the stake. You didn't actually see her being burnt at the stake. She was in the wings screaming.
We should have seen
And, okay. Right, spin that one to full speed, please. Okay, and then just move this out of focus and see what we get. Not too bad, is it? Okay, all right.
Well, I'm quite.
Forest fire.
Yay, forest fire.
Okay, just stop that from spinning a minute. Just stop it from spinning. It's fine. Right. Okay, so now, let's see. Oh yeah, I know. Right, number 5 off, please. And number 2 on. Just a bit. Okay, so. Now at the moment, the gauze is lit from front only. Okay. Can you very, very slowly, so at the moment it's fairly solid, okay? Probably a tiny bit more, number 2. Hold it there. Can you very, very slowly bring up number 4, please? Hold that there, hold that
No,
there.
it's not.
And now slowly take down number 2.
Like wards and stuff.
Okay. And now we've got a little bit of ambient light in this room here, so we can see a little bit of the pattern. And we're working at such close range, we're actually getting a little bit of reflection that's coming backwards. But you can get the idea how you can do quite magical things with gauzes.
You did a wonderful one, the comedy of errors.
Oh yeah, comedy of errors, that's right, yeah.
You can see that guy, that guy's around.
That guy's the
One on set.
This is not, of course it can't see.
He would be able to see the gauze, yeah, yeah. But it doesn't matter. The main thing is you're looking from the audience point of view. Let's bring in number 2 again, please. So the light comes now on the front of the gauze. Hold it there and take down number 4. And now bring up number 8, please, slowly. That's enough. And slowly take down number 2. Now what I've done is I've changed the first light I saw was with a side light. Now it's done with a miniature profile spot with a leaf gobo in, just hitting the wall. In fact, if I even tap the lighting bar, just a tiny bit, it might make it look like the wind's blowing in the leaves and the branches are starting to swing about. Okay, so take number 4 down. Not number 4, number 10 down. I want to show you a few slides now. Oops. Where do we hang the lights? Now, in some schools, we started off back here a few years ago just with telescopic stands and some dimmers, and that's all we had. And we've built that up now to a proper lighting. You can even draw a little plan of your lighting. It's always best to do that. And you can, when I was first doing lighting in professional theatre, we used to design lighting plans on anything, even like a serviette in a cafe or something like that, paper serviette. These days you can do them on computers. If you wanted, even on Microsoft Word, you could do a little drawing package. You could draw some little rectangles and copy and paste them. So we've got all the profiles from the front of house bar. All the Fresnels on bar 1. 6 more Fresnels on bar 2. And on bar 3. And then after that we can start adding in the special effects, which might be on the specials, which are called fire and water maybe. And then right at the back, cyclorama lights lighting up the back of the cyclorama right in the background of the stage. And that's just the start to lighting up a small school stage. These aren't real people, they're shop dummies. This is at the Berlin Theatre, we set something up photographically some time ago. Just to demonstrate different lighting qualities. They're photographed against a black background. And without changing the lighting, we just fly out the black curtain. You see how much lighting is even reflecting off the floor onto the cyclorama. We've already had some real depth to the stage. And then, this is on a real show now. And in some of the Rudolf Steiner's mystery plays, they use actors and eurythmics together. It's a very, very powerful combination. And so you can see one scene where these spirits are appearing to this chap who's he's a writer and or studier. And there they are appearing there. And but Rembrandt, he beat us all to it. He's always using light, dark. Fantastic. It's almost like a stage set, this one here. And maybe in a play you need to highlight someone, pick somebody out, even just for a few minutes, either with a sharp-edged profile spot or a soft-edged Fresnel. Another Rembrandt. I've always wanted to do that for the Christmas plays, lighted like this, with the lights coming from the centre, radiating out. We tried it once with a light bulb. It looked so corny, you wouldn't believe it. But with an artist, with a painting, if you actually look at a good quality print of this, you see some fantastic shadows, the way it uses light and dark. Light coming in from the side here, the blind Tobit. This again a Rembrandt painting. Maybe you don't need this huge lighting rig to make things look effective. There's one light on here, just glancing down these bodies on a small stage. Berlin Theatre again, somebody standing on a pair of steps behind a book flat, just made out of hardboard, blue cyclorama lights, and picking out the night watchman. What colour is this material?
White.
White material seen in the pink light, and then white material seen in the blue light. Small school stage. You recognise that stage?
Was that ours like 60 years ago or something?
Yeah,
still got the blue.
that's right, yes. This is Watson, when she was a lot younger. And we toured to this school when I was down at Emerson College with a Eurythmic group, went around the whole of Great Britain. And a few years ago, they didn't have the wooden up there, they just had a blue curtain up here. And these colours were up for another Shakespeare play. So in fact, your school is shown all over the country when I do this course. And anyway, so there we are, there's one of your plays. A Midsummer Night's Dream some years ago. And that was one of those twins. Yeah, William or Duncan. So, we put a white cyclorama at the back of your stage. We put in some foliage hanging down. He's got green makeup on, but it's also got a little Fresnel coming on, in with a green tint in the lighting to bring out the greenness on his body makeup. And he was playing Puck. Macbeth was done the following year, and it's very hard. How do you make a small stage look large? Put black curtains all the way around, and you can't see, your eye can't focus on the background. But right at the end of Macbeth, low level light. These are using these power cans. And we had Jeremy, I think he was called, he was playing Macbeth. He meets the witches on the heath. And he's got a parcam here and a parcam there coming up over the back behind, sort of from behind, over the top of his head, so that it doesn't dazzle the audience. And the ghost, the people who play the ghost, have to walk through these beams. But there's also lots and lots of smoke on stage. I don't know if did you see Macbeth when you were that? I can't remember if you were on that. And, okay. And then Stirrings in Sheffield some years ago as well. Remember that? We're using lights and we're using perspective to make the stage look a lot deeper than it really is. There were some little lights coming down here.
They missed that because they were at the Olympics.
Ah, right, okay.
Who the hell?
There might be a video of that, I don't know. Now, the other thing you do, you take a slide of someone and then project that image onto your cyclorama here. I painted the corners of the slide so you couldn't see the actual edges of the slide. Nowadays, that's done with slide projectors. Nowadays, you use what's called a data projector, which is like that one over there, where you can do lots of things digitally with the computer. It's a lot easier. And there's leaf gobos over here as well. Oh, What a Lovely War is a brilliant musical documentary about the First World War. And all the cast are dressed as heroes, but they wear different hats and belts to represent the different parts they're playing. This is the start of the show, and it also uses large-scale slides as well. So you cross-slide the stage, so the beams don't bounce onto the projections and wash out the projections. Getting light at 45 degrees so you can see all the facial expressions is really important. Hats are a problem. Take them off as part of the business or keep the head up. Bit more large projections here, and actually backlighting, blue light coming the other way. You can see a lot of it on the floor here. I need some more here as well. And one school down in Sussex where I did some work, they did Fiddler on the Roof, and they hired a huge floor. It had a turntable built into the floor, and they hired all the set as well, and the lights glancing off the roofs there. Marionette stage which I built, and this is what I'd really like to push the puppets that are doing here, get them to do some marionettes as well. The audience are looking through here, it's called the sight line. So it's a side view through the stage. So the sight line, the proscenium arch is there, they're looking through a black doors onto a bed sheet which forms the white cyclorama, and then this way people are projecting gobos, but somebody first of all designed a little castle out of using the cardboard from the Kellogg's cornflake packet, held it against the back of the actual cyclorama, and then shone a light behind it. And that's what it looked like.
Oh, cool.
So simple, but so effective. And the puppets were just in front of the cyclorama, so you've got to be very careful. If you light them from the front, you might get a shadow. So you can cross-light them using either Fresnels or you use profile spots with a shutter in, so you can skim right across the cyclorama without actually hitting it. And even the rules that apply to a puppet show, the same rules if you're on the Covent Garden Opera House stage. And the backdrop comes down, and the tree gobo we saw today, there is back projected onto the bed sheet for a scene, combined with some other freestanding little cutout trees. The iris that we saw today, there is used back projected to form the sunlight effect. This was all to do with the King of Ireland's son. There he is in his, you know the story, King of Ireland's son? His dry water tank. The dry water tank in this case is made out of a Morris Minor glove compartment. Just thought it like. Anyway, so backlighting. Backlighting streaming in behind this actor here. And here. This eurythmist is taking part in one of these big mystery plays. And right at the end, we have these parkhands blasting in from behind whilst this enormous gong was going. And she's just walking down slowly in silhouette. Sometimes you don't do naturalistic lighting, you do strong lighting pictures to make a big lighting statement. And so we've got vertical profile spots, like this one here, with the iris in, of every single actor. This chap normally wears glasses, so he's missed the cross on his stage. So he's just off his circle. You don't see light, you only see what light hits. Between the projector and the screen, there's hardly any dust in the air. So to begin with, this character's on, having a nice picnic. You can see the leaf gobos all over the stage. But then his double character comes on. The lighting levels drop dramatically. And and a big, massive smoke machine pumps a lot of smoke onto the stage. And then one blue power can comes from the back, and then another blue power can comes from the back as these two chaps cross and clash with a big crash of cymbals and sound effects. Here's another one. That's at Michael Hall School, Stein School down in Sussex. And it's very simple again. It's a rostrum, it's got a smoke machine pointing into the back of it, and the bottom cyclorama lights are doing the red, and the top cyclorama lights are doing the blue. Side lighting coming in with the amber filter can be very, very effective. Sometimes train the actors. If he's going to produce a shadow onto her, you get this sway the body slightly to one side or the other. You put a shadow onto her. Cold light. Something like this. Multicoloured power cans coming from either side of the stage. And these Eurythmics were moving this enormous piece of silk and swirling it around and creating the wind. So they had to represent all the different atmospheres and the elements. And so the colours are directly mixing onto the actual piece of silk. And here you can see another bit of it. Even somebody was pulling the cyclorama cloth to make lots of chasing shadows going across it. Quill goes straight down. Quill goes straight across for Orpheus in the Underworld type scene. Fire and water projected from behind here. Low level 30s to make sure her face is still lit. A glow over coming from one Fresnel here in the rose colour. And 16 1 kilowatt Fresnels making that blue wash over the whole stage. And then without changing the set, we just change the lighting. And the whole thing looks completely different. All the lighting is going up. Make special little boxes like this. See them again here. Even profile spots on the floor coming in. This is smoke as well. She's having a vision. And what's going on inside her head is suddenly revealed when the door is lit up from behind. And you can see this guardian type figure up there with a profile spot, the power cannon down there, power cannon down there, just behind the doors at point blank range. This actor had to stand there for 15 minutes when his lights came on. And he could see the audience. He says, they're going to see me. And he said, no, you can't. If the gauze is not lit from behind, you can't be seen. So we had to stand on the box and show them how it all worked. If the actors can really believe that stage effects are going to work, then they'll do it. And this Eurythmist here, she's playing one of the soul forces in one of the mystery plays. And she's got low-level Fresnels coming in here, another low-level Fresnel coming in here, mixing with the blue light coming from the top. And it's a really nice, delicate interplay of colour there. And if you do happen to plug in all the lights and lower the fuses, well, you can always use the sun. Which is a little collage here. It'll take about 5 or 7 seconds just for it to gather all these little pictures together. There we are. The only one you haven't seen here is a show from the Little Prince and a little New York background in there. So just turn this off a minute so we can go really dark. In fact, we can shut it down. Have a look. Turn that on. We'll do it. Maybe. There we go. Right. Just turn your attention one more time to this. Can you bring up number 2 a little bit? Okay. Right. And that's fine. Bring up number 8. Hold it there. All right. And now slowly take down. Can you see? Slowly take down number 2. Okay. At that point, the doors might fly out. Okay. And now. Bring up number 4, just a tiny bit, please. Oops, and up down a bit. Okay. Bring down a little bit of atmosphere to this.
Oh.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
There. And one thing I just forgot to show you, so we'll try not to this like that. That black background at the back, well, just take down number 8 a little bit, it's a bit bright. See how the smoke shows all the beams now as well, hold it there. Take down number 4 just a tiny bit. Okay, and now slowly bring up number 12. Got on the end, number 12. It's all right. There you go.
Wow.
Sailcloth. Go to the B&Q, get yourself 100 Christmas tree lights, and then hand sewn onto the black curtain. And then I put the black gauze in front, so you can't see all the little light bulbs and the wires. And it'd be really nice to make a nice Sailcloth at this stage. Okay, so bring up number 9 a bit, number 8 a bit more. Okay, bring up, now we need to light up now in different ways now. We can bring up the warm filter onto Romeo, so bring up number 9 a bit. That's it. And now we need to see, let's have a little bit of blue backlighting. I'd like to bring up number 3, please. Just swing this round a bit. To the end. To Juliet a bit. And now we need to light up Juliet a little bit. So the Fresnel that was down below on the stage has been refocused up higher. Slowly bring up number 10 a little bit. No? Okay. Is number 3 on full power? Or quite a bit brighter than that. Yeah, that's good, that's enough, that'll do. And then can you bring up a little bit of number 11, please? I couldn't resist it. Yeah, number 11. Even though we haven't got a real window in there, why can't we pretend there is a real window there? And project a gobo on there, just to break up that scenery flat a little bit. And so you can bring up a little bit of number 2. And a little bit of number 5. As I say, you don't see light, you only see what light hits. So if you put a little bit more of this in the air, you can cover up the whole stage space and a bit of here as well. And I hope that gives you some idea how stage lighting can enhance your productions. Thanks very much.